Okay, boom. We are back again. Welcome to the Some of the Speaker channel where I help guide 9 to 5 employees and anybody else to cleaning business success using the remote cleaning business model. Once again, my name is Some of the Speaker. If you are new to this channel, definitely please subscribe to the channel. At the end of the video, if you felt like I offer some type of value, or if you got value from this video, please give me a thumbs up. In the details of this video, I will put my ebook, yes, a free ebook for you guys as well. I'm doing free one-on-one calls. Don't forget to join the community. We have a cool community that I will post below here. But today I wanted to make a quick video for you guys, right? So I want to talk about today remote cleaning business, right, and how to make that into a side hustle. Because the honest truth is sometimes people don't necessarily. We're gonna go like this. Just like this, right? Because the honest truth is sometimes people, although we want to, start this business, maybe we like having our full-time job, right? Maybe we like having our 9 to 5, or maybe we're just looking for extra income to put into maybe a children's college fund or a savings account or paying off college debt, right? Maybe we like the 9 to 5, but we still want to maybe we like the 9 to 5 and want to keep it, but we're just looking for some additional income to make. So how do we make the remote cleaning business a side hustle, right? And so if you guys don't know if this is the first video you're seeing, understand what the remote cleaning business we do, right? We connect clients and we connect them to a service provider. And we get paid for offering value. This is where we offer value, right? Being that connected, being that what we like to say middleman or middlewoman, right? And with that being said, obviously we use different systems and automations to make it work right. We have a CRM, we have a phone number that they can call, we have our online platform like our Google My Business platform, right? So the question becomes, and if you want to learn more in detail, watch my other video, because I don't want to make this too long of a video explaining what it is, right? What I want to talk about is how can we make this a side hustle, right? Maybe we're not trying to replace our income, but what we're simply trying to do is just make it a side hustle to bring in extra income, right? So that is something that is possible. How do we do that, right? There's a couple ways we could do that. Maybe we could do this where we do it on the weekends, right? So I'm gonna put side hustle options, and understand, even doing this as a side hustle, you can still make $5,000 to $10,000 a month doing it as a side hustle. That's why I love the remote cleaning business model, right? So these are the side hustle options, right? Number one is running the business on the weekend. So running the business on the weekend. So what does that look like, right? That could be a couple things, right? That could be only taking calls on the weekend. Only taking calls on the weekend. Or that could be just servicing clients on the weekend. Right? So that's the first option. So maybe what we want to do, we only want to take calls on the weekend, serving clients on the weekend, right? Now, don't get me wrong. If you're doing that, right, or we can take calls on the weekend, right, and we're serving clients during the week, or we can take calls during the week, or only serving clients on the weekend. We can take calls on the weekend and only service clients on the weekend, right? So when we're doing it that way, right, depending on if let's say you're just only servicing clients on the weekend, right? Obviously, you're not gonna get to 10,000 servicing clients on the weekend. Is it possible? It is 100% possible, right? But you would be having to do, let's say there's 4 weekends in a month, 4 weeks, right? And to get to that 10K, you would just be having to do 2,500 a weekend. And if you do, let's say it depends on just Saturday, Sunday, you would need to do about $1,250 per day. Now, the reason I say that's possible because a lot of people are doing $1,000 days. So that's not impossible. You can reach 10K servicing clients on the weekend. Another thing you could do is only take calls on the weekend and service clients during the week as well, right? And that is something that you could do that you would also get to that 10K. So we want to keep it to a simple side hustle. We could just focus on running this business on the weekend, or focus on really putting a lot of our time during the weekend. Now, the beauty of this business, which is why I say that it can be a big side hustle, is that when you have everything automated, right, you only need a couple hours a week of your time. So really, you could put in 1 to 2 hours a day. That could be after your 9 to 5, and still be running this business through the whole month. Right? So technically, I don't recommend necessarily just running it during the weekend, because once you have everything automated, the amount of time needed to run a business, you should be able to run it through the week, right? Especially when you can delegate and have someone take sales calls. There's no reason just to run a weekend business for a call that you can run throughout the whole week without having to give up your 9 to 5. That's the beauty of it. So the second option, which goes into what I was talking about now, is pretty much just delegating. And this is the reason why I say this, right? So that technically, right, when you're running a bit, if you wanted to replace your income, delegating is something that you would need to do regardless, right? It is you're not going to be able to scale the business working on it by yourself, right? You're not going to be able to scale it, but delegating allows us to make this a side hustle, right? What do I mean by delegating? Hiring VAs or virtual assistants to run the business while we work 9 to 5. And that's why I say the biggest thing I focused on is helping 9 to 5 employees get that additional income. Or they can literally, if you want to go from working for a 9 to 5 to yourself, but some people do like their 9 to 5. So this is the second way we can make it a side hustle, right? We're delegating the task, right? So we can still work the 9 to 5, but what we're doing, we're handling virtual assistants to take calls. We're hiring virtual assistants to maybe give us data, do data report, right? We can hire a data entry virtual assistants, and they can give us the data back for how the business is doing, so we can actually look, make predictions, and make projections on the business, right? Customer service. Maybe you want to be able to simply follow up, right? Follow up with clients, see how they're doing, right? Get feedback and reviews from them, Google reviews, which help out the business. If you wanted to, you can either have your salesperson do that on their downtime, or you can have a customer representative or a follow up person that is solely focused on just getting follow up from different clients after we've serviced the client. So by delegating the task, it can become a side hustle in that we are not really doing anything. Well, if anything, we're just doing a little bit of managing, making sure things are getting done right. And managing, doesn't necessarily take you having to be present 9 to 5 all day, every day, right? So with that being said, delegating the second way we can make this into a side hustle, we can hire a virtual assistant to run a business. That's why, going back to my first point, I just wanted to put it out there, but it doesn't really make sense for it to necessarily 100% be just a weekend business when you can literally delegate someone to run the business every day 9 to 5 while you work your 9 to 5. So that's the second way we can make this into a side hustle. And then the third way, this is the third way, right? And the third way is kind of encompassed into both how you want to see your business while also delegating. And I'll tell why, right? The third way to running it into a side hustle is just seeing what are you really trying to make. And this is why I say that. If you're trying to just make an extra 10, 15,000, right? Actually, let me put this right. Goal setting for revenue. I'm gonna explain this, right? Simply, if you're only looking to make $10,000 to $15,000, you can make this a side hustle easy, without a doubt, right? You can make this a side hustle. Now, if you were telling me you wanted to make $1,000,000 a month, right, you would obviously need certain systems and certain systems automation. You're gonna want to be a little bit. You wouldn't be in the business. You're gonna need to be working on the business a lot more, right? To make simply, let's say, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, month, you know. You may not, especially initially, you may not be able to just say, hey, I'm just going to dedicate 1 hour a day. I'm going to get to 100, 200,000, right? Maybe after you've worked on the business so much that you put in the system, the automation, the delegation, you put everything together, then you can do that, right? But what I say is, if you're goal setting, and let's say your goal is to simply make an extra $15,000, that is something realistic in which, okay, this is a manageable side hustle. Right, so that's why I said goal setting, and even with delegation, right? If you want to make $10,000, $15,000, you might need 1 or 2 sales agent, right? You don't need you can manage 1 or 2 sales agent, right, without having to get away from your 9 to 5, right? So goal setting, right? So if we can come up with a goal that aligns with it being just a side hustle, say you just want to make an extra $10,000 to $15,000, then it becomes a lot more realistic as a side hustle. then it's like, okay, this is a very manageable side hustle. So just having the right goals. How many assistants do we need, right? What is the number that we're trying to get to? How much are we trying to put in a savings account for a child's college? Like, hey, maybe you only want to put $500 to $1,000 in their savings account for college, or maybe you want to only allocate $1,000 or $2,000 to debt consolidation for your for erasing debt for your like college debt or whatever debt. Maybe you have a car loan that you want to erase, right? If you're only looking to use 1,000, make 1,000 or 2,000 just to be able to put money back into whatever initiative that you're looking to do, right? That makes this a great side hustle, right? Versus saying, hey, I want to make 50 to 100,000 a month. Well, yeah, it's possible, and especially when you get the automation and the system going, you'll be like hands off. But it's gonna take an initial amount of work that may take away from you doing a 9 to 5. So with that being said, if we understand what the goal is, then we can understand like, okay, this is how we can make this just a side hustle. If we know the goal is to only erase debt, put money into a savings, pay off something, whatever, then it's like, okay, we know the goal is 10 to 15,000. Okay, we can make this an easy side hustle. We're only gonna need 1 or 2 virtual assistants, right? We may not even need to take clients every day of the week. Maybe you don't want, to take 5 clients a day, Monday through Friday. We don't need to do that, right? We don't need to accept every client. We'll only accept the clients that are paying because we need it as a side hustle, right? We don't need every single client, every single dollar, because we're trying to get to this enormous amount of money, right, in revenue. So goal setting would definitely help when it comes to like creating this to be a side hustle. But once again, these are just the 3 ways to kind of make the remote cleaning business a side hustle. These are the 3 side hustle options that you have. Once again, you can pick the days that you would like to run your business and serve your clients, right? The second thing you can do is delegate. So while you're working your 9 to 5, someone else on the side is running the business and taking calls and customer service and making sure cleaners are getting where they need to. And then goal setting. We just need to know, okay, if we're going to make this a side hustle, what is the realistic number that we're looking to get to? Something that's not going to require us to pull ourselves away from our 9 to 5. But with that being said, yes, overall the remote cleaning business is a great side hustle. It's a side hustle that you can 100% make 6 figures a year from easily, without a doubt. Once again, thank you for being here. If you found value in this video, I know it was a very short video. If you found value in the video, give me a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Check the details below. You're going to see the free ebook that I'm offering. You're going to see the community as well that I'll be offering. Within the community is going to be the ebook and the course as well, right? So you'll be able to take the course and to get you started. And from there, if you need more help, we could always get a one-on-one going. But once again, Tuesday and Thursday every day at 6. Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. is when I drop videos. I'm just looking to give you guys as much information as possible. But once again, I will see you guys on the next video.